Hey, besties. We're back.
Hey guys.
We're back.
Welcome to episode 2 of our podcast, except kind of.
Hey, don't no. It's the podcast.
Okay. Let me explain what's going on, because you might be a little confused.
Yeah, just a
You
little.
might be a little confused. You're like, Max, why is it like showing up as a new podcast? Why did you guys
Why did I
restart
have to refollow this new podcast?
on
Is what
Spotify?
you should be saying.
If you're on YouTube, yeah.
You're a baddie if you're on YouTube. Thanks.
Yeah. My phone is. I'm gonna. Okay. You might be like, what's going on? The website we were posting with Spotify started being like, to post more episodes, give me $100.
Like, we're broke.
So we had to go under a new website that's free. So now we're under a new one. It's all restarted. Hopefully we fixed it so this is the top result and you can't really see the other one, or like it's not gonna like show up really. Because didn't you change the name?
It's the new game. Oh.
Don't say the new name of it, people.
The new name is new, and it's no longer everybody.
No, the name, the old one changed the name. You changed the name of the old one, right?
Yeah.
So now when you look up Everybody Should Have Podcast, this one won't come up.
It'll say top result, and you follow that one.
No, wait. Okay. Now when you look up Everybody Should Have Podcast on Spotify, this one will show up. This new one. Right? Right?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah. So,
No.
Will the old one show up if you look up Everybody Shut Up?
Yeah.
Change the name.
Only the episode will, because
Change the name.
I did. But I think it's going to take a bit to delete since Spotify is just slightly behind everything else.
Yeah, we're going to work on deleting it. But right now, just do the one that's called Everybody Shut Up Podcast instead of the one that's called Everybody Shut Up. Do the one that's called Everybody Shut Up Podcast. Okay, so yeah, that's the explanation. Last week's episode looks just like it came out today, but it didn't if you're on YouTube.
Today's the 29th because, okay.
No, it's the 28th. Haleigh, first you thought it was the 30th, and now...
Okay, anyways, so on to the Daily News. So the Daily News is that two companies, Pfizer and then the other one that I forget, have come out with 95% of the...
95% effective vaccines.
Yeah, so...
COVID, oh my, so exciting. December, I was hoping... Why? December.
It's exciting that it's almost over, but yeah, like.
Yeah, December is supposed to be when the first rollout comes out for like essential workers, which means my dad might get one. I'm not sure. I wouldn't, but my dad might. Yeah. So.
Okay, and then next is that there has to be a trigger warning whenever you hear Matthew Morrison.
And
Frankie you see Matthew Morrison.
Is that like an actual thing now?
Every single time, every single day. What?
Is that like an actual thing now that there has to be a trigger warning?
No, it's not an actual thing, but like.
Okay, because you kept saying it.
If you post a video of Matthew Morrison's without saying trigger warning, if you post a video, of Matthew Morrison without saying trigger warning in the comments are all, "Where's the trigger warning?" And if you do, it's like, "Thank you for the trigger warning, bestie." So.
Oh yeah, that should definitely have a trigger warning.
Yeah.
Also, Frankie Grande, please. Trigger warning. Yeah. Today, what's your fun fact of the day? Did you say it already?
My fun fact of the day. Oh my god.
Or the week. I don't know.
Fun fact of the week, whatever you want to call it, is that there are more atoms in a penny than there are people on Earth.
Yup. Okay. Today's podcast topic
is, drumroll please,
childhood stories, part 1. Part 1.
Well, this is like more like stories in general, but so Max is gonna tell his first story.
Is it childhood stories or stories?
Stories.
Not childhood stories?
I mean, let's be as big as we can, so that way we can fit in as many, because technically we're still in our childhood since we are under the age of 18.
Okay, let's do stories.
But
today we're going to focus on childhood stories.
Yep,
So life stories, part 1. This one is childhood stories.
Yep. Okay, here you go, Max. Spotlight You have the floor.
I have the floor. Okay.
The floor. This floor is yours.
Stop showing. Okay. So not today. Still, 9 years ago. Ripe age of 5 years old.
Ripe.
Ripe. Almost 6. I was about to turn 6. Little old Max his lungs were not feeling great on this field trip that he was on in kindergarten. He was on a field trip and he was like, I'm struggling to breathe. But then I went to the doctor and they were like, this is bad, go to the hospital. And they were like, you kind of have bad pneumonia. And so I was in the hospital for I think 2 days.
What'd you say?
So I was in the hospital for like 2 days. Hey, stop messing around with your microphone. It's gonna yes, you're messing around with your earbuds and it's
I'm so sorry.
So I was in the hospital, blah blah blah. My class knew about it. Like they made me a whole thing of cards being like, get well soon, feel better. Whoop-de-doo. And yeah, I remember my body was just dying. What? And I remember I stayed up all night one time watching this movie called Igor, which was very like knockoff Frankenstein.
I mean,
and then
his story doesn't really have a plot.
Yeah. And
Mine
then,
does.
Yeah, so that's that.
Okay, here's my story, which is actually interesting. I'm sorry. Okay. So,
Wow.
Picture this. Point of view. I'm 4 years old. This is 2009. Max is not going to show the picture, but I will show a picture of me in 2009. Sorry, I just hate Maddie in the head. Okay, sorry, besties. So it was 2009. And, I was chilling in my sister's room because I wanted to be with her, like, do some fun stuff with her because I was 4 years old and I wanted to like be friends with my sister. So I was sitting in her room and she was like, you know what, she was doing a Hannah Montana like hair kit. And then so she was doing a Hannah Montana hair kit and she was like, Haley, go to the bathroom and get me a clip. And so I was like, okay, I'll do that, bestie. And so I went, and so I was 4 years old, so I was tiny. And so I jumped up on the like sink top. Get a new angle of he's saying that his phone is plugged in but not charging, but get a new charger.
It's okay, I'm recording this on my iPad. The iPad's plugged in, but not charging because I'm using it.
What's it at?
1%.
This is why you have to do it on your phone. Join on your phone and then
Okay, wait.
Join on your phone and leave while I tell the story because I don't feel like starting over again.
Okay.
So he's gonna join on his phone, but so I was like jumping up on the counter and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this hair clip. So I went to grab it and I lost my balance. And so we have like a towel cabinet and it's like huge and it weighed 100 pounds and I was definitely not 100 pounds. I was like small. I was 4. So I grabbed it and I fell off of my 4-foot cabinet or my 4-foot high like countertop and took the entire cabinet down with me because it wasn't bolted into the wall. So I fell into the like my back was like on the tub. Like if this was like the side of it, I was like this. And then the cabinet was like it was like here. It was on like on my shoulder. So I was like, ow. And everything fell out of the cabinet because at the time, the first like only one was used for towels, the rest was used for like it was filled with like hair stuff and like so all this stuff fell into the bathtub. My mom, who is a nurse, wasn't home. It was my dad and my grandma who, so they were like, and so I started bleeding out of my arm and I probably should have needed like stitches or something because I have now a huge like deep scar but they were like, whatever, you're fine. So that's that story. A bit eventful. Max, are you going to join on your phone?
I'm joining on my phone right now.
Thanks, bestie. Okay. So next, I'm going to tell another funny, really funny story of me because he's trying to join. Okay, so I am skiing. This is the same year. Right? Okay. So it's nighttime, but there are lights. I remember the story being daytime because I was 4. But my mom was like, no, it was nighttime, but it was just because the lights. I remember it daytime, whatever. Yes, I will accept you.
Okay, I'm joining on my phone because this iPad's gonna die any minute.
Okay, he's on.
On the phone.
Put in waiting.
I mean, because the iPad just died right then. Okay, I'm gonna get my AirPods.
Okay, I'm trying to remove you. Okay, he's removed. Okay, so now,
On the phone.
so I was skiing because I'm a skier.
Me
and
too.
so I was skiing and I was going down the hill with my instructor. And my mom does not like this instructor because he was bad. But I was like, I had a need for speed. So I, instead of doing the actual lessons, which was pizza and french fries and go like this, go like in a giant, like big S curve down the mountain, I was like, no.
I'm gonna go.
And so I went straight down, but I was 4 years old and had no control, right? So I didn't know how to turn my stop because I like especially going pretty fast. So I started to drift to the left.
Oh.
And
Wait, how is my audio? Is it
your
good?
audio is great right now. So to the I don't know how it'll be in the recording, but right now for me it's great. So to the left was a chairlift, and in between the chairlift there was a small piece of woods, like a wooded area. So I was like, oh my god. Actually, I was having so much fun. My mom was watching this all go down. She was running and she had a camera and that was hitting her in the face and it was like really bad. Because it was like hanging off her like her neck. And so I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. The instructor is chasing me down the hill. My mom is running at me trying to tell me to stop." I didn't know how to stop. I was just like, boom, zoom in. And so, right. So I start drifting and I take a sharp turn headed for a tree. And it in between the tree was a plastic, like a rope with like poles on it. And so I went like the pole like hit me in the face. And I stopped, like it stopped me. Like I went around it, like, and then it hit me and I fell backwards backwards off out of my skis and like essentially yard sailed but going backwards. And my mom was like thought I was gonna be like an emotional wreck and like sobbing, and I was literally laughing when she found me. I was like, oh my god. It was like the scariest moment of her life because she thought her child was gonna hit a pole or hit a tree and get a concussion. Instead, I hit a pole and started laughing.
Nice.
Okay, period. Your turn to tell a funny story, a ski story.
Does my thing look super zoomed out?
Yeah. What?
Does my my video look super zoomed out?
Yeah.
I hate how the iPhone 11 does that. When you're on FaceTime with like a computer or an iPad or a Zoom, it like makes it super zoomed out, and I hate it. Do I have a childhood story?
You don't have a childhood skiing story because you've been skiing.
Okay, this is the time. Mine is much less like traumatic than yours.
Suspense.
One time I went to Cape Cod and I was there. It was a great time. And my mom's like, go play with the kids club. Go play with the kids club at Cape Cod. Go have a chitter chatter, whatever. And so I go over there and I recognize this person, and turns out it was my best friend at the time.
Aww.
And the parents made a whole plan for them to show up, and yeah. And I hung out with them the whole day and it was really fun. Yeah.
Okay, I have another skiing story, but this is like less. This is more embarrassing and less.
Yeah, you do
not
that
on-
while I think of more of my stories.
Not on the slope. Okay.
Okay.
So we're at Attitash, and so I don't know if many of you guys know where Attitash is or like what it's like, but there is a pub upstairs from not the main lodge, the other lodge. There's like the main one, which is huge, and then there's a smaller lodge that I always go to, and above that there's Ptarmigan's pub. And so I go to Ptarmigan's pub with my friend and her mom. And so at Ptarmigan's pub, like what we usually do is like you unbuckle your boots or you take your feet out of your boots. And so except for when you go to the bathroom. So I was on my way to the bathroom. Well, I was gonna go to the bathroom. And so little did I know, my boot was caught on the table. Max, you're muted. Ooh, is Dana there? Can I say hi? Hi, Dana.
Continue your story. Sorry.
Okay, so I was going to go to the bathroom, right? Stop doing that. I'm gonna block you.
Oh, hello.
Okay, so we were on our way to the lodge. I mean to the bathroom, sorry. And I got my boot caught in the table and I didn't know. So I got up and took the entire table down with me. And there was glassware on it and there were forks and knives and I like went to stop my fall by grabbing the tablecloth. So I pulled the tablecloth as I was falling down.
Oh no.
An issue arose and then it all fell on the ground and then everybody laughed at me and I was laughing very hard. Luckily it was like early morning, it was like time, like after lunch. Or it was lunchtime, but we were eating lunch, but like everybody else had already eaten lunch. We had like a late lunch. So yeah. There weren't many people there. Did you hear that?
Ding ding.
Yeah.
Okay.
LOL. Sorry.
My story. Okay, this is 2014, summer of 2014. I am 8 years old at the time. I'm almost, yeah.
This is Bestie Maddie. Hi.
There's Maddie. Okay, yeah. So I'm 8 years old at this time. I'm scootering down up and down my driveway on my little scooter.
He's scootering up and down his driveway. He has a big driveway and a long hill.
I have a long driveway. Why is this not staying all of a sudden? Yeah, I'm skating up and down my driveway. I had a great time. I'm listening. I have my old iPod, like the original iPod. I have like tucked into my waistband in my shorts. And it fell out of my waistband until it was dangling.
What did?
And I was speeding down.
What was
my driveway? What?
What was it? What are you talking about?
My story.
No, what was hanging? Whatever.
My iPod was hanging out of my shorts, and I went to grab it, and I was going so fast, and I took one hand off the scooter. I don't know how that was a good idea. I easily could have just waited till I got like done speeding, but I did that, and then everything like shakes, and I fall over, flat onto my face, and I land on my face, and then like lied, and all the skin like under my nose, like between my nose and my lip.
Your Cupid's bow.
Yeah, that ripped off. It was not fun. It was all pink and gone and bloody. I also have a scrape on my knee, which I still have a scar.
Yummy.
And yeah, I went inside and somehow I didn't lose any teeth.
Dang
Don't know how.
You look really good with one missing tooth. Why?
So yeah, that happened. I also went to California 2 weeks later for like a whole long vacation. So the whole time I looked stupid. It was mostly healed by then, but it looked like I had a crack right there. So yeah, it was painful, and my mom thought I had knocked out my teeth. And yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Wow.
What am I thinking of? What are my stories? When I tell my injury story, I usually tell the one about the... Oh my god! This story is kind of gross, but it's my best story. So, POV, I think I have a picture, so I'll try to pull it up on my phone. But POV, I'm 7 years old and I'm camping with my mom and some family friends, right? And so we're like at KOA, this campground in Maine, and my mom was setting up the camper. And so we were with my like the friend's mom at the store. And so by doing this, we wanted to look that like we had seen some people in these like fun little cars that they were like pedaling around, and we were like, oh my god, I want one. And so we were looking to see what like the restrictions were, like how old you had to be, like yada yada yada. So we were doing that, and she was talking to the lady at the desk, and I was looking at the store, and so I was squatting down, like looking at a pink magic wand. I don't know why I remember it was a pink magic wand. I just do. And so I'm gonna try to like explain this the best I can. So when you're in a store and you have like a package of something, you know how it has like, or like, so for example at like a general store, how they have like candy with like, and it has the little the like to hook it on, it's like an oval with like another oval on top, and it's like it's, or a circle sometimes.
I know what story this is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you know those were like, I don't really know how to talk, but it's like, and
Yeah.
what goes on it is like a metal like it goes onto a metal pole that like has a little angle at the top. Like I don't like, that's the best way I can describe it. So it's like, so I was going, I don't even know how this happened, but I stood up way too close to like the wall, and this metal piece goes under my eyelid and like cuts my physical eyeball, like the white part of my eyeball. Luckily, I missed like the colored part, but it cut my eyeball, and my eye started bleeding. Like I saw it fill up with blood, and I don't know if it dripped down on my face, but I know it was bleeding because I couldn't see, and it wasn't like water, like it wasn't like when your eyes fill up like you're crying. It was like I couldn't see. It was like black, so it was blood, and like so I was like I started crying. It didn't really hurt. It just felt weird. But like the fact that I was bleeding out of my eye was scary to a 7-year-old. So I was like, oh my God, mom. She was like, what? Or I wasn't, sorry. I was like, oh my God, friend's mom, help. And she was like, what? And I was, they like the kids were like, Haley's bleeding out of her eye. And she was like, what? LOL. And I was like, yeah, look. And so I go sit out on the front steps, and then one of them like runs home to my mom, runs the camera to my mom, and she's like, and they're like, Haley's bleeding out of her eye. My mom's like, she's what now? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
So then, sorry, I'm like looking for the picture. And so my mom comes, and so she's like, oh well, how? And I was, and so we went back to the camper. It stopped bleeding. I was like, I'm fine. Like, we don't need to go to the hospital. And she's like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And I was like, okay. And so we went to the hospital, and they were like, you can sit and wait for a doctor. And we're like, okay. So we waited in the waiting room until they had a room open, and then they did, and they were like, okay, go in there. What's the prob? And then we were like, yeah, my eye was just bleeding. And they were like, okay, we'll give you some antibiotics. And it took them 2 episodes of Good Luck Charlie to get these antibiotics.
Yummy.
But anyway, that is the story. So here's a super swag picture of me sleeping. I forgot about this picture. My mom literally posted it on Facebook. Okay.
This child's story, POV, it is, I'm 10. It's summer 2016, I think. And yeah, I'm having a great time. My room is being repainted. For some reason, I wanted to repaint my room lime green. Not this room I'm currently in. I moved rooms back in May. But I wanted to paint my room lime green. And my room was with my carpet, and I wanted a hardwood floor. But I was going to get a hardwood floor. And then the universe hurt me because my mom's painting in my room. I'm hanging out in the hallway on FaceTime with one of my friends. And I hear this big...
Who was it?
What?
Never mind.
This big fall, and my mom starting swearing. and I look in, and she dropped the lime paint on the carpet floor, and it splattered everywhere. And it was like, oh no! And then
Is that the
I
story?
I ended up getting hardwood floors in there, and I had a lime green room for 4 years until earlier this year. I moved into this year, and this room was like dark green. It was almost black, and now it is like it looks
Super
yellow in like
black
pictures and
beige. I
stuff.
don't know why he
But
just
it's
wouldn't paint it white.
beige.
Your room looks like it's decorated for Christmas, but that's like your normal decoration.
This room is not at all done. I'm getting like a new bed set, new setup, picture wall. It's gonna be a lot better. But yeah, I'm in this room.
Okay, tell another story while I look for this photo.
I don't think I have any.
It doesn't have to be an injury story.
What I'm trying to think. The one that's like interesting, but I can't seem to find one that's like actually interesting. I'm now realizing I kind of had a really boring childhood. Well, mainly because I didn't prepare for this.
Yeah. What's another story of mine? Okay, so it's New Year's Eve. Turn your camera on.
I'm looking at pictures to see if I can find anything.
Okay, so it's New Year's Eve, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
That was the Funtown Splash Down trip. Sorry, we went to Funtown Splash Down later that week. I'm trying to find the picture of me in the hospital. LOL. Okay, but I was such a queen back then. Skinny legend. Okay, so point of view. I forgot what story I was gonna tell. Point of view. It's New Year's Eve. My parents are not home. It's New Year's Eve day. So um it's New Year's Eve day, and I'm chilling with my sister and her friend and her friend's mom. Oh my god, literally such an icon. I stan her. She was so nice. When my sister wanted, whatever. Okay, so my sister's friend was in the chair, and she was pushing out of the chair she was sitting in. And as I was walking, it was totally a freak accident. And she, like, when she backed up, my toe, like, jammed super far into my foot. Like, it was like the chair was like boom, and my toes went like in a wrong like direction.
That's like the Squidward episode of SpongeBob.
Oh, that one caused me pain. Like,
I literally am like in pain thinking about it, where like they drop the chair and it bushes around his toenail.
the wood, and it just got bigger. That's one of the few. Here it is. Here's a picture of it. That's a minute. That's 10 minutes after. You can't really see it,
Nice. But
it's bruised on my literal. JK, it was on December 30th, 2014. It was on my like toes. So if this is my foot, it bruised. Hold on. It bruised. Oh, here.
The middle of your.
It's the ring.
Around the ring finger.
The ring and middle finger knuckle, and then there was a bruise going up to the knuckle of the middle finger, and a bruise, like a greener bruise on the toe. And I believe that there was a little bruise on the pinky, but I'm not sure if that's just a shadow. Oh, you can't see it. Okay. I'll send this to you. But then I went to Sky Zone later that day. And I was not walking on it. I was like, oh, and while I was at Sky Zone, I was trying to do that thing where you jump on your knees and then flip over onto, like, do a front flip. And I missed, and I landed on my head, and I like gave myself whiplash. It was really bad.
Nice. Okay. POV. Me and my brothers. I'm like 3, maybe 2 or 3.
I posted on my Instagram account that was called Snow Girl.
And I'm wrestling with my brothers. Blah blah blah. Roughhousing. Ooh. And one of them pulls on my arms too hard, and it pops right in my socket. And my parents are like, "What is going on?" And I was rushed to the hospital, and they put it back in. That's about it. I also another one. This was like, again, 2016. I'm talking with my friends, and I see this girl from my school that I do not like, She was very mean to me. And I'm like, oh, is that blah, blah, blah? And then, like, in a rude way. I'm like, is that blah, 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 blah? Haleigh, they can't see that picture. Actually, if they can,
We have a
on
lot of
YouTube.
followers, subscribers.
Okay, don't look at that picture. That's an old picture of me. And I'm like, why are they here? And their mom walks by right behind them. And they're like, don't talk about my daughter like that, blah, blah. And she goes to my mom. I'm like, she's like screaming at me. I'm in tears at this point, and my mom's mad too. And I had to go home and be sad. And I had to write an apology letter to the mom. Very traumatizing. I don't know.
Oh my god!
What?
Oh, I thought of a story.
Okay.
So, picture this. This is when I had recess before lunch. Oh my god, this story is so embarrassing, but people who went to my school definitely will remember it. So we're like I had gone to school. I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I really don't feel good. She's like, whatever, don't eat your Cheerios, just go to school. It's like, swag, okay. Sorry, I remembered the Cheerios. Like, you know how you remember it? Whatever. So I didn't eat the Cheerios, and I went to school. And I was like, yo, can I go to the nurse, my friend? And she was like, yeah. No, actually, you know what? No, she said no. The first time she said no. And I was like, I really feel bad. And she's like, whatever, go get a Tom. And I was like, First grade. I was in first grade. And so I remember, oh my God, I remember what I was wearing. And so I went to the nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. And so I went to the nurse and she gave me Tom and I continued my day. And then I went to recess. And I wasn't really feeling good, so I was sitting on the bench alone, and all my friends, I forget who, they're like coming over, they're like, do you want to trade Pokemon cards? I'm like, I don't really feel good right now. It's like, okay. So then I got in line, and I was like, I have to burp. And so I put my hand over my mouth, and I threw up a little in my hand, and I was like, whatever. And I just literally shook it off. And everyone was in
That
line.
is so gross.
And then I threw up everywhere, and everyone was in line. The entire grade saw me throw up and walked by it.
That's nice. That's really nice.
And then I was wearing this like pink shirt. It was cute. And my mom was like, you told me you didn't feel good. I should have just listened to you. I'm like, yeah, you should have. Oh.
I have a story.
Okay.
I'm sitting in class. This is second grade. And I really don't want to be here extra today. I'm like, I hate everything. I don't want to be here. So at the time, I didn't know what a hickey was, but I knew I knew like what a hickey was, but I didn't know it was like a hickey and like what they were like, or the whole thing around them.
Hey, Marie.
Hi, Marie. Wait, why? So I started giving myself a hickey on my arm. It is huge. It is dark red. It is very there, and yeah. And then once it's done, I'm like, okay. I call my teacher over. I'm like, I don't know what happened, but this hurts really bad. I don't know where it came from, but it hurts so bad. Can I please go to the nurse? I'm dying. And she's like, yeah. I have no idea if she could tell it was a hickey or not. I feel like.
Well, I mean, considering the
I
fact
don't know.
it was on your arm, you're like.
Yeah, and so I go to the nurse. I'm like to the nurse, like, it's very painful. She's like, stop lying. Like, I can tell it's a hickey. And I'm like, no, like, it's literally painful. Please let me go home. She could see right through me, but I didn't let her.
Wait, were you doing it on purpose for it to go home?
Yeah, and so I get picked up, and like, this hurts so bad. And then I spent the rest of my day in my couch watching Backyardigans.
Iconic. Okay, guys, that was the last.
And
that was the last
concludes
story.
our stories.
So thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching our podcast. We will, hopefully, this will be the last of our technical difficulties, and we will see you all next week.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
December.
I think
December.
we said we were gonna do a goodnight forehead kiss. So here you go.
Yeah. You don't get one. You guys don't get one from me. You have to earn that.
Max, you gave one last week, just so you know.
Yeah, that was the one-off.
It was for the beginning. You got a forehead kiss from me though, because I'm nice and Max is not.
Yeah. So thank you guys for listening to our podcast.
Thank you for listening. Tune in. I think the new date is gonna be Saturday.
Maybe Friday if we start. Yeah. I'll be honest. We kind of forgot about it.
Oh, I didn't. Except I
didn't either. I just what
No,
didn't want to be like.
he sent me a video. He's like,
I didn't want to be annoying.
"Are we
so I
gonna do
wasn't,
it or not? Are we gonna film it?" I was like,
didn't wanna be
"I'm
annoying, so I didn't
shopping
say
right now."
anything. So yeah,
Me in
that's
school.
that.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.